this is me, the Untitled Viking. This is the game of Trolls. Everybody's played games like this, in which your whole goal in the entire game is just to get rid of all the cards in your hand. If you're the first person to pull that off, you will win the game. The trick is here, it isn't like a Crazy 8s game where you have to match suits or anything like that. There are different colors or different kind of suits to the game, but that doesn't really matter. Basically, in your turn, what you're going to be doing is you're either going to be playing a card that has some actions, or you're going to be discarding cards that you have pairs of. And as long as you can get down to 0 cards at the end of your turn, you will win the game. Now, there's lots of different ways there's lots of different attack cards and defense cards, and like everybody does something type cards that kind of promote interactivity and promote a lot of fun with everybody that's sitting at the table. So let me show you how the game of Trolls is played, and then we'll come back here and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, that's it. That's all there is in the game of Trolls, this big giant deck of cards. Now, the entire game is all about getting rid of all of the cards that are in your hand. There are 4 different colors of cards, and each one of them has a different thing that's going on. You start with 7 cards, and as with a lot of different games that you've played of this type, you either play cards on your turn or you're forced to draw a card. You can, if you want to, not play a card and draw a card if you wish, but most of the time you're going to be wanting to play a card. Now, there's 2 different things you can do. You can either play a card if it has instructions on it and then do the instructions, or if you have 2 of the same card, you can discard both of those cards. Just keep that in mind. So here is the most basic of cards. Like anything with green has a number on it. So if you have just 1 green 3, however, you can't discard this card. You can't play it because there's no instructions for it. So what you need is another green 3, like so. And so then you'd go ahead and you'd say, I'm discarding these cards, and you discard them. Pretty simple, and a lot of times that's how you end up kind of winning the game, because you're down to 2 cards and everybody's kind of hoping that you don't have doubles of something, because if you do, then you're able to get rid of it. Now, if you have 2 cards that are the same but that have instructions on them, like these 2 particular cards, you can discard these 2 cards as well, because they're exactly the same. You can go ahead and discard them and get rid of them, but you don't take the action that's located on the card. Alright. With me? Great. Alright, so red cards have a certain kind of attack to them, and the arrow will tell you who you're attacking. So in this case, you'll be attacking somebody to your left, and the attack takes a random card from anyone. So this person to my left then has to pick somebody else at the table and then takes a card from them, adding to the number of cards they have in their hand. You'll notice that this one is the exact same card, but it points in the other direction. Now, there is a way to defend yourself against some of those cards, and that is with blue cards. Blue cards are defense cards. You can kind of tell by the little shield that's up there in the corner. When this one says, back to you twice, sir. Attack is reflected and doubled. So if somebody played that attack on you, you'd bounce it back towards them. It's important to note that if you have a red card that affects you that actually causes you to lose a turn, and there are several cards like that, if you lose a turn, here's one of them. So like in this case, you can go either left or right as far as that is concerned. But target loses a turn and cannot defend. You can't play a blue card if you happen to have one in your hand. Now, some cards, like this one, will show me what you're working with. It has a 4-spotted arrow that goes in all 4 cardinal directions. This card can be played on anybody at the table. It isn't like across the table and left and right. So if you're playing with 6 people, you can use this to affect anyone. Also, some cards will allow everybody to get into the action. So you can, here it is, this one takes a random card from everyone. So you're going to load up with cards if you play that against somebody. Now, one last type of card is these gold cards with the little crown up there. The gold cards allow you to take an action like this one. Last person with finger on nose, draw 2 cards. So you play the card, you immediately put your finger on your nose, and everybody kind of looks to see what's going on. The last person does that. And then, if you have another card, you can play another card. As long as you have gold cards, you can just continue playing gold cards. So, this is reverse the direction. So, obviously then, instead of going clockwise, you're going to go counterclockwise. And if you happen to go counterclockwise, you're going to go clockwise. As soon as you're done playing gold cards, you have to play another card. If you can't play another card, because say you're down to this green 3 and you don't have any matching 3s, at that point you have to draw a card anyway. You have to be able to end your turn either by discarding 2 separate cards or by playing another card of some type. Obviously, if you can somehow stockpile a bunch of gold cards and then play them all in succession, then you're able to win because you discard down to the last card. So that's ultimately the game. It isn't the most difficult game in the world to learn how to play, but it is just one of those flat out just fun games where you can kind of turn your brain off and enjoy everybody else at the table, and you can have fun looking at the pictures and doing the little things that they were making you do. Obviously, the gold cards are the most fun part of the game, but let me talk a little bit more about Game of Trolls in my final thoughts. So you can see this is a game that you can probably learn in about 5 minutes. You're going to be like picking this one up and doing it really, really quickly. This is the entire rules book. That is it. It's not even like a full piece of paper. It's just a piece of paper folded over. So I mean, you are able to teach this pretty quickly because basically the rules are all on the cards. There is one thing that I didn't mention as far as how the game is played. If you're going to be playing several rounds of the game over and over again, just to kind of like play it repeatedly, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, you could definitely play this like as just kind of like a filler or just something fun to take up the time while you and the other people at the table just kind of talk and discuss. And this is definitely a lake cabin game. Like if you've watched my videos, lake cabin games are the ones that I can teach to everybody really quickly, and it's just there to like be a reason to sit at the table and interact with one another kind of thing. But the thing is that if you win, there are what they consider perks, and if you lose, there are snubs that you get. So the perks, like the first win, you get to pick who plays first at the next game. The second win, have any two people, including yourself, swap hands or trade in your hand for a new hand. Or third win, deal out 2 additional cards to anyone, or 1 card to 2 people. So you can kind of, as the winner, you can kind of be a jerk and mess with people. However, if you're the loser, like the person, and you get a little bit of a benefit too, so it isn't like you're just constantly losing. The first time you lose, you get to look at any 3 cards in the deck and choose to move those cards to the bottom of the deck. The second time you lose, at the end of your turn, switch the direction of play once while you're playing. And then the third loss, make one person draw a card each time it's the trolls, or the loser's, turn to play. So you are able to like really keep like messing with people and preventing people from winning. So I mean, if you are like having bad luck or whatever, you can kind of mess with stuff a little bit. Now, as I said, the best part of the cards are obviously like the yellow cards, because they're the ones that like that you get to really kind of mess with people, and it promotes everybody at the table to be having a good time with it, and like paying attention too, like the whole thing about being the last person to put their finger on their nose type of thing. Those are the things that like make everybody be in the game and not like on their phone and like staring out a window or having a conversation about last night's episode of Stargate 1 or whatever that show. I know that isn't around anymore, but you know what I mean. It makes people pay attention to what's going on, and it's just fun, to play with. Now, is this game gonna like go down in history as being the biggest brain burner or anything like that? No, definitely not. But this game is very simple, and it has a very straightforward aspect to it. It is all about that whole weird world we have about internet trolls and people just trying to mess with people just for the sake of messing with each other, and then also the internet memes of said trolls and using them for the art. And it works for exactly what it's meant to be. It's meant to be quick, it's meant to be dirty, and it's meant to be fun. And I enjoyed it, and the people in my gaming group did too. So if you like these types of games, I think you'll like it. So go ahead and check out the game of Trolls. If you have any questions about it, ask away. I'll be happy to answer those as best as I can. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and until next time, have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.